Hey everybody, how's it going? It's a Daily Shooter, and today we're going to be doing a review of the Shield Sights RMS-C. This is a compact little red dot. It's got an aluminum housing, but a polymer lens. So it is a little bit different than, other things that are on the market. The interesting thing is when I first heard that it had a polymer lens, I was a little bit concerned, thinking that it might not be as strong as some other optics that are on the market. But according to their website and their information, they're saying that this polymer lens is actually 10 times more impact and shock resistant than anything on the market that has a glass lens. So, I'm kind of curious about that. Now, this one right here, this particular model, has a 4 MOA dot, but they have several different options that are available that have different dot sizes, different housings, and so forth. This particular one right here fits directly onto the Canik TP9 Elite SF. It also fits on like a 365. It'll also fit on like a slim frame single stack 1911 and other compact and subcompact models. The nice thing about the Shield sight is, if you can see right here, it sits very, very low on the pistol. So with it sitting so low, you can actually use standard sights. These are standard height sights right here. And you can use these standard height sights and actually co-witness with the optic without having to get suppressor height sights. So you can actually co-witness with this without having to do anything or modify anything. There's kind of a moderately deep cut on this particular pistol right here, but still, it's really nice in the way that it's designed, and it sits well, and it's been working well for me. But today we're gonna maybe smash it on the truck a little bit and see how it holds zero and stuff like that. So why don't we just get started by first just taking some shots with it before we do anything too extreme and just see how it's working. I've probably put, I don't know, about 800 rounds with this on the pistol right now. So not too many, but enough where if it was going to give out, it would give out. Now, this thing has an auto brightness setting. Some people are going to like that, some people are not, but that actually helps with the height and everything else. There's no push buttons or anything that are going to get in the way of making this a short and very small compact optic. So it only comes with auto adjusting brightness. Now, I got to tell you, so far I haven't had any issues with it. It seems pretty intelligent as far as the brightness goes. So with this sight right here, I would say that it's a little bit better than some others on the market that are auto adjusting. It gives you a higher brightness setting, and that means that when and I apologize for the wind, we're having a little bit of wind here, but sorry about that, I had to cut it. I figured you guys wouldn't want to listen to the wind. We had a pretty big gust come through here. But like I was saying before, when it comes to the auto brightness settings on this optic right here, they seem to work pretty well because it seems to put it at a slightly higher brightness level than other optics that are on the market. So what I mean by that is, if you're in a dim setting, okay, so let's say that you're in your garage and you're just kind of testing out the optic, so you point it out towards the bright sun, so you don't have the direct sunlight in the garage, right? Well, it seems like I can still see the red dot pretty much perfectly. And so in that type of environment, let's say you're at a range or somewhere where you're undercover and then you have a target that's out in the bright sunlight, it seems like it's going to be fine as far as the contrast goes. So I'm pretty happy with that. Not a huge fan of optics that are just auto adjusting, but this one seems to work pretty well. So let's just go ahead and take some shots with it and see how it is running. All right, still working just fine. Missed that first shot, pulled that one, but the red dot's still working pretty good. So let's go ahead and add a little extra level of abuse to it. I just realized I have my hearing protection still up on my hat. I was doubled up on my hearing protection because I was just shooting a compensated 308 and that thing was really loud. So I still had hearing protection on, but just the plug. So we'll put this thing back on now. But what I want to do now is I want to give it just a little bit of extra abuse before we really hammer down on it and kind of see how it holds up as far as zero goes and as far as the lens goes. So what we'll do here is we'll just go ahead and take it up here against the truck. Wow, that actually scuffed up. Wow, that actually took a chunk of the plastic off of the bed liner there. So we go ahead and slammed it there a couple times. Let's go ahead and rack this thing on it. It didn't go all the way back, but let's see how it holds zero. Now, just to show you guys that I wasn't hitting that thing like a sissy, I was actually slamming it into the truck there. You can see the indentations in the truck bed right here, and actually a chunk of plastic that it took out. So I was smacking it on there pretty good. Let's go ahead and drop this thing a couple times, and then we'll take some more shots with it. right, so let's take a look at it. You can see we definitely hit the top of it right there. Everything still looks good as far as the glass goes. I don't see any cracks. The red dot's still working. And I definitely hit it. And you can see the dings right here, right here. Yeah, other than those two dings right there where I really hit that rock pretty hard, looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and see how it functions now and if it held zero. Now, I want to thank Optics Planet very much for sending this out to the channel for me to review. If you guys are looking for this optic or anything else on the Optics Planet website, use the discount code DAILY and save yourself a little bit of money. Or you can head over to my website, which is linked down below, and you'll find direct links to this product as well as other discount codes and stuff like that. So now that we've dropped this on the ground a couple times, we've smashed it against the truck bed a few times, let's go ahead and see how this thing is holding up. Again, remember, it is an aluminum housing with a polymer lens. So I'm actually really impressed with it so far. It seems to be holding up good, but let's see if we can still hit the target. We're standing at about 10 yards away right now. The red dot's still there. The red dot's there. I don't see any cracks. The red dot still looks good. Everything still looks nice. I mean, if there was anybody out there that had any questions about the shield sight and how tough they are, whether or not they would stand up to any type of abuse, I gotta be honest, so far, it's looking pretty good. This is a tough little optic right here, and the red dot's really nice. They actually have different sized dots as well. So if you're looking for a 3 MOA dot, a 4 MOA dot, and I believe they also have a 5 MOA dot, you can pretty much find the dot size that you're looking for too. Now, I wouldn't call this next part a torture test. It's just a basic water test. We want to make sure that if water gets in the emitter, it's not going to stop this thing from working. The battery's not going to shut off. You know, we're not going to have any issues from condensation, rain, or things like that. This thing is waterproof. Obviously, it's shockproof and stuff like that. So we're just going to go ahead and put some water on it just to make sure that that emitter is going to stay good. So we'll do that, and then we'll take some more shots with it just to see how everything kind of pans out. But we'll fill that thing up like a cup. And the nice thing about this sight right here is that it's got these cutouts right here. So you can see these cutouts on the side, which does help that water drain just a little bit. So you can see that as it kind of fills up right there, it just drains right out of the side. All right, so now that we have that fairly wet, let's go ahead and grab a magazine here and take some shots. See how the grip works on this Canik TP9 Elite SC as well, because this thing is soaking wet right now. Had a hard time holding on to it, to be honest with you. I was kind of struggling to hold on to this gun. Now, if you guys want to know what it looks like real quick through the optic, let me go ahead and hold it up in front of the camera here. You can see that it's pretty gooped up. It's pretty well, pretty dirty right there, but still working just fine. So overall, I gotta say that I really like this sight. It works well, the dot is bright, the dot is clear. It's definitely not the best dot if you have an astigmatism, which is pretty typical of red dots like this. When it comes to a single lens reflective surface, for anybody with an astigmatism, you're probably gonna have a little bit of flare, but still, it's something that you can work through because the flare's not so bad that you still can't tell where the center point of your dot is. And as the light starts to go down and the dim, it starts to get a little bit dimmer, then the red dot becomes a little bit easier to see as a perfect circle. But out here in the bright sunlight, it's going to be on its brightest setting. So if you have an astigmatism, just keep that in mind. Now, if you guys are wondering about this case, this is actually going to be my next review. This is an 8-pistol case from Case Club, and honestly, it's probably the nicest pistol case that I've ever seen. This is a really cool case. You can hold 8 pistols. Each pistol can have 2 or 4 magazines, depending on how many that you put in here. It comes with a dehumidifier. I mean, this thing's lockable. portable. It's perfect for transportation, travel, if you're going to be flying. It's a pretty cool case, so we're going to work on that next. But finishing up with the shield sight, again, this is the 4 MOA version of the RMS-C. The RMS-C is going to fit on those smaller handguns. So even your 365 and your M&P shields, again, we have the Canic here. You can run this on a single stack Glock, and it's not going to hang over the edge. It's got a pretty slim profile to it that keeps it from hanging over the edge. So the sight itself just kind of hangs out right there, and it really does fit perfect. As far as the Canic TP9 Elite goes, this particular one is cut specifically for this optic, and that's originally why I chose it. To be honest with you, I didn't really have much interest in this sight until I got that pistol right there, and I thought, all right, we'll go ahead and we'll try it out since that's the one that it's set up for. But now that I have it on there, I gotta say I'm pleasantly surprised. Now, as far as the thickness goes of the polymer that's in there, and I'm sorry if I'm shaking, this is actually the first day where it's over 100 degrees out here in Vegas, and I think I might have a little bit of heat exhaustion, so I might want to jump in the truck and cool off a little bit, because I noticed that I am a little bit too shaky right now and kind of out of my head. So I'm going to go ahead and do that in a second. Nonetheless, it's got some pretty thick polymer on the inside right there. It's not like they put a polymer lens and just made it this really thin material. It's actually a fairly thick piece of material that almost takes up this entire space within that housing right there. And again, it's an aluminum housing, so the housing is strong, and because it has a polymer lens, the polymer lens doesn't have the tendency to break and crack or chip even like you're going to find out of a glass optic. So it seems like it's pretty strong. We dropped it several times onto rocks. We smashed it up against the tailgate, and you guys saw what it did to that. And it still held zero. It still shoots just fine, and the dot's perfectly fine. Put some water on it. Everything seems to work really well. So overall, if you are looking for a micro or slim compact pistol optic that's very lightweight, because this one right here comes in at just over ½ ounce. As a matter of fact, I believe it's only 0.61 ounces, so 0.6 of an ounce. This thing weighs absolutely nothing. If you're looking for a good one, I'd recommend it. I have nothing negative to say. The only thing that I would like to see is adjustable controls for the brightness, but I know that, you know, if you do that, you're going to lose the size and the weight of this optic. Keeping it simple like that is what keeps it small. So again, as much as I'd like to see it, I get why it's not there. So anyway, this is the Shield RMS-C. This is a fantastic site. If you guys want to check it out, again, use the discount code DAILY. I want to thank you all very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and have a great day.